everyone, how are you doing today? My name is Karina and welcome back to Ready Set Pan. Today I am so excited. We're doing another update for my Use That Eyeshadow project, where essentially I roll in a random eyeshadow from my collection with the goal to use it 10 times and of course use that palette as holistically as I can for those 10 looks. Once I hit my 10 uses, I get to roll it out and bring something new into the fold. And this month is pretty exciting because it's been a couple months since I met the goal on 2 eyeshadows in the same month, but this is one of those months. So we have 3 eyeshadows in the project right now. 2 of them I've met goal on. We'll roll in some new shades. We'll talk about some goals for the next month. And that is what we're going to do over the course of today's video. So without further ado, let's just dive right into it. Starting off with the Persona Identity 2 palette, I had rolled in the shade Brave. As of the last update, I had used it 8 times, which meant that I only had to reach for it 2 times to hit my goal. And of course, I have done that. Brave is the shade right down here. It is a matte. This palette doesn't have a lot of use like most of my eyeshadow palettes, so it's not going to be very exciting to look at. But I did reach my goal on it, so I'm very excited about it. Of course, I'll have a close-up picture so you guys can see the usage that I've gone within all of the uses in this project, but that is the first one, and that was, of course, the one that's no one surprised about because I only had to reach for this palette 2 more times. The next one, so the next oldest that's been in this project is Lorac. Now, this was in last month as well. I had 2 uses on it last month. And surprisingly, this is not the palette that I'm going to be rolling out this month. I had rolled in the shade Gold, which is, as you guys can probably tell, it looks very used. This palette is very soft and flaky and crumbly and powdery. So like even the mattes that I've played with, like you dip your brush in there and it's like, oh, there's powder everywhere. But in terms of Gold, which is the one that's in the project now, I did reach it for an additional 4 times this month, or since the last update, bringing me to a total of 6 uses in this project. That means to be able to roll it out next month, I do need to use it 4 more times, so using this palette 4 more times. And it's okay. Like, it is very... It's not my favorite color. I am wearing mostly this palette today, so I've got this one on the crease, this one across the lid here. I think I did this one today in the outer corner, and there's one other thing on my eyelids that I'll show you guys in just a moment. But this one is going to stay in the project. Which means that by process of elimination, Pixi by Petra. This is their glittery eye quad, the rose / bronze one. This is what the palette looks like. As you guys can see, this is purely a companion palette, which is partly the reason why I was able to get all 10 uses on it over the last update, so the last month. Now the shade I rolled in is still my least favorite, of course, in this palette, which was shade number 3, this kind of reddy one. And you guys may be able to tell there's a little bit of it sort of ish in the middle. Now this is obviously a companion palette, so obviously I can't do a whole look with just this because I do prefer, you know, a matte in the crease. So I was using this with the Lorac a couple of times, which is what I've done today. I've done it with the Hip.Zion palette in another project. I've done it with Persona Brave. One of the looks was with that one. So I've been able to kind of double dip, which again, I don't normally do, but because I can't use this palette holistically, that's why. So that's part of the reason why I was able to get 2 eyeshadows done this month. And I don't know if it's just this red, but it does, you know, kind of come down here. It does transfer a lot up here. I don't like this color all over the lid. I prefer it more as like an accent. I do prefer like these other colors in here. So I am still going to keep the palette for these other colors. But generally, I probably won't reach for this one. So at least I got some use on it in this project. But this one, go met. Which means it's now time for the exciting part of these updates, which is the rolling in. So I have 2 eyeshadows I need to randomize from my collection. I am up to a total of 506 after getting the Violet Voss Berries and Cream, I think was the eyeshadow palette from my BoxyCharm by Ipsy by BoxyCharm, whatever it is. So it was a little bit higher, so I'm now above my goal of 500 eyeshadows. However, that being said, do keep in mind a couple disclaimers before we start rolling things in. First off, of course, as I talked about last month, I have palettes that I've set aside that I want to rip apart. So if I happen to roll in one of those items, if it's one I'm going to plan on keeping anyway, great, I'll still use it. But if it's something that I've already decided I'm going to be decluttering, there's no point me using it, so I will re-roll that particular prompt if it comes up. I'll still show you the palette, I'll explain why I'm going to be decluttering it, but I still have not gotten a chance to get to those Z palettes yet. I gotta buy some, which again, not hard to do, but things are just really busy right now. So eventually, I want to throw that disclaimer out there just in case. The other disclaimer I want to throw out is that I do have palettes in other projects for usage. So if I pull any of those palettes, I will also re-roll as well because it's already in a project. I don't want to either double dip or have to use it for one project, leave it completely on hold for the other until it's done in that project, and then roll it in. So those disclaimers out of the way. So now let's get to the rolling. So we'll roll the 2 numbers and then we'll take a look. I've got the Pretty Random app right here. So let's start with the first number, which is going to be a big one. So 414. And now time for the second number, which is going to be another big one, 503. Oh, which means that's going to be this new palette that I've just gotten. All right, I've gone ahead, I've pulled the palettes. I haven't looked at them yet, but these are both relatively new palettes from BoxyCharm. So I haven't played with either of these yet. So this is going to be really, really exciting. 414, it comes to us from Wander Beauty. You've seen me unbox this palette on my channel. This is the Sweet Escape palette. So the first shade in this palette is First Class, which is 414. So just roll this one in, which means this is going to be an easy one to do. This is the palette here. So it is neutrally with some kind of gold and some purple pops in there. It's not translating on camera as beautiful as this palette is in person. As you guys can see, First Class is this shade here, which is the brow bone inner corner highlight. So that's how I'm going to use it. Now, of course, that is going to be a direct conflict with, in This is Fantasy, I have a CoverGirl single eyeshadow in Champagne that I've been using. That's what's in my inner corners, under the brow bone, basically forever. Pretty much every single video you've seen has been that. But that means, again, I can really kind of do whatever I want with this palette. I'm excited to play with these colors here. They look a little bit more duochrome-y, so that's going to be fun. I'm really excited about this first roll-in. And of course, the brand new palette, so new that I haven't even put it away in its proper spot yet. Haven't had time to, been busy. This I just got. This was a power pick in my most recent BoxyCharm box, so the August 2023 box. This is the Berries in Cream Dreams eyeshadow palette from Voss. So this is going to be, again, pinks and browns. I rolled in the shade 503. So we'll show you the palette first. So this is what the palette looks like. Again, as I talked about in my unboxing, this is a pink, but yet still fairly neutral palette. Now, I rolled in the shade 503, which is Dreamy Berry, which is... Ooh. Okay. That's going to be pretty. That's this one right here. So again, same deal, 10 uses, and we'll get it rolled out. So in terms of goals for the next month, I have rolled in, as I've been referring to a lot in this video, I have rolled in a fair number of eyeshadows for the same kind of goals, 10 uses on the palette holistically in other projects, which means I am going to put more of my attention on those palettes so I'm able to roll them out, because unlike this project where I roll and replacement, once I roll them out of that project, I've fulfilled the prompt for it. But I do still want to make sure I have at least one thing rolling in and out each month, and obviously, no surprise, that is going to be the Lorac Gold color, because I only need 4 more uses on it to complete the look. Which means that these 2 palettes, I just want to play with them. I do want to get at least a few uses on them, kind of play with it, see what I'm kind of gravitating towards. I'm going to play with them. I don't anticipate being able to roll either of these out for the next month, but that's okay. We're going to play. And those are palettes I have not played with before. So I am very excited about their color stories. However, of course, if I decide the performance isn't great, or, you know, they don't translate as well, or they're too much hassle or too much work, of Of course, then that could lead to a declutter, which is still good because I'm trying to work through my eyeshadow collection. That's what this project is helping me with. Decide what I really like, what I enjoy, what's working for me, what I want to keep so that I can enjoy it long term. And if I can't, then I'm going to say goodbye to it. But that is everything. So that is going to complete this Use That Eyeshadow update. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments below. And I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video very soon. Have a wonderful day.